and we saw some good results coming out of that exercise. Very recently also we have made offer to one company which nicely they refused, which is a good idea. They were confident, and I think their validation worked, and they got selected in Y Combinator very recently. This was also a triple IT Hyderabad technology transfer related company. So what Jawahar was saying is actually working well, and we found them investable, and YC found them also acceptable to their program for acceleration, and that's decent level of validation that those pieces are okay. Similarly, there is another company which were working, and I'm not taking names generally, but which created good application for banks, large institutions, insurance companies. So at least what was the research which was going on the tech, deep tech side, or media tech side, started to now resemble with what is happening in generative AI or what is happening in other deep tech related technology. When I speak of similarly the research which is happening on the biopharma in medtech zone or in the genome studies, I have a slightly different opinion about them. I particularly feel those research continue for 4, 5, 6 years without an output coming to market. So even if you see from the lens of venture capital showing interest, if they would have to invest at an early stage in them, and with 5 years of research, by the time they will be able to bring the product to the market, it would be year 6, and when they will be growing and then looking at returning with exit, it would be 10 years. And that suddenly becomes an unviable proposition for a generic VC firm unless they are very specifically focused on those segments. Sometimes even I challenge the founders when I ask them, saying, how much grant have you got in the last 4 years if you are in a biopharma research? And they generally, most of it now with Birect, DST, XYZ, they're sitting on 2 crore, 3 crore, 4 crore grant which they have received in the last 4 years. And I personally feel there are a few things which will go through that period of time and you need to really go through the journey. But there could be other lethargy also which is coming because you got so much grant, it is equivalent to sustaining lifestyle if you were researching in corporate environment. So sometimes we need to really see, is there a judicious control mechanism? Are we using grant for producing result in the right time frame? But at least there is a TRL framework for an investor like us. We have now understood that if we invest at a TRL level 2 or 3, and it will take 4 years for us to start funding, and it may not be a great idea. So unless the company reaches to a TRL 7 and 8 level, there is a regulatory approval coming in, or at least the pre-stages are identified, then time to market is a year or less. And that's decent enough for us to take a punt on them, even when they will come at a higher value, but at least we'll be able to secure an exit in 6 to 7 years. For a VC, there is obviously an additional responsibility that I have towards my LP. One is about what technology are we supporting? Is it consumer-centric, market-facing? Is it going to make it large? But also at the end of the day, whether I will be able to recover money and give it back to an investor. So that's a few dimensions that I wanted to give. While there is an industry perspective and there is a research perspective and consumer, in the end there is an investor perspective.
Absolutely, and I think obviously we have to differentiate between foundational research, long-term research, and things that are customer-facing to some extent, right? And what you highlighted is true that you need different types of capital.